Welcome to our information session for the University of Pennsylvania Master of Science in Applied Geosciences program. My name is Dr. Yvette Bordeaux, and I direct this program in the Department of Earth and Environmental Science. And we have with us today Sally Carty, who is our administrative director for the program as well.
Hi, everybody. I shall be posting links in the chat, so keep an eye out.
Yeah, so we have a ton of links for you. So as I talk about stuff, Sally will put those in there. And at the end, this slideshow that I'm showing you, I'll put that in as a PDF at the end, so you can download that if you'd like it, as well as the links. You can grab the links from the chat. So, all right, so I'm going to get started. So we are. A little bit about the program. We started this program in 2005 in the School of Arts and Sciences, and it's administered through the College of Liberal and Professional Studies, which is one of the 3 colleges in the School of Arts and Sciences. And we're academically housed within the Department of Earth and Environmental Science. Here's a picture of our building, Hayden Hall, which we all miss at the moment because of COVID, but we hope to be there soon. So that is our department, and where you will study and learn on campus. So we have over 100 alumni in the program already, and they are you can find them in a whole bunch of different geoscience fields, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, like where are they now, sort of thing later on. All right, so this is a professional master's program as opposed to a research master's program. And that means that we focus on helping you find a job or obtain a promotion after graduation. So the idea is to really focus on getting you out there in working in the geoscience fields, whether that's in government, in industry, like in consulting, or so forth, or nonprofits and so forth. So we really do focus on that. Doesn't mean you can't go on for a PhD, and we certainly will help you with that, but our true focus is helping you get a job after you graduate. We have 3 focus areas for the program. They include environmental geology, hydrogeology, and engineering geology. So you get to pick one of those 3 to focus on as you go through the program. You'll see some pictures here for each slide, and I tried to throw in some pictures of some of our students and faculty. This one's in the field with Tony Sauter for his intro to hydrology, showing some of the techniques that you use in hydrology. Now, why study in Philadelphia? I know that as a geoscientist or a geoscience major, you may wonder, like, why would I want to study in a city as opposed to, say, Texas or Colorado or Montana or someplace like that, where the rocks are much more available. But the fact of the matter is that particularly if you're planning to go into consulting, environmental consulting and so forth, what better place to learn about these types of issues that we see in consulting than in a city, right? Because a lot of the projects and things that consulting works on are in urban areas or suburban areas. So in addition, Philadelphia in particular has a lot of really great stuff going on. So we have the water department here in Philadelphia that is committed to green infrastructure. So that's managing stormwater using green methods rather than gray methods, right? Instead of using pipes and vats and so forth, they use green methods, green roofs, swales, rain gardens, and other ways of capturing water that's more natural and keeps it from getting into the river quickly, so that it can be managed and not overwhelm our system. All right. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I just interrupt you? I'm having trouble seeing your slides.
Oh, you can't see the slides?
Is anyone else experiencing that?
I can see them okay.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'll reshare. Okay. I'll just reshare just to be safe here. All right. Can you see them now?
I can see them. Can you, Sally?
Okay.
I cannot, but that's okay. I'm going to wing it.
Okay. Yeah, let me know if you can't see them. Anyone else? Seems unusual that you can't, but okay. Now, so next is that Philadelphia, again, Philadelphia charges for stormwater runoff. So companies, organizations that own property in the city, including the University of Pennsylvania, have to be paid a tax if they have stormwater running off into the sewer system, right? And so that is a big incentive for people in the city to do something, capture that stormwater. And so there are lots of opportunities for projects working on just that, developing green infrastructure methods to control that stormwater runoff and save people money. All right. And so the university itself is a living laboratory in that we have stormwater management, green infrastructure solutions going on in the city that you can get involved with, but also throughout the city. You can work with the water department. You can work with others on that. EPA Region 3 is headquartered in Philadelphia, which means that you have the opportunity to work with folks at the EPA, either as a volunteer or occasionally they have paid positions available where you can work with them on projects that range from, again, stormwater management to water quality to other issues, right? Cleanup, CERCLA cleanup, and things like that. And finally, we have extensive cleanup work going on in the Philadelphia and New Jersey area. So there are lots of different projects going on near the city that you can find out about, learn about in your classes, and maybe even visit. Okay, so lots of good stuff right here in the city. Now, in terms of the geosciences at Penn, again, we have campus stormwater management, the green infrastructure going on. These two pictures, one is of Shoemaker Green, and one is the bottom one is Shoemaker Green, which is a big green infrastructure management project. And the top picture is Penn Park, which, you know, it's athletic fields, but it is also a major stormwater management system. And it helps us collect water from the campus and keep it from running into the river, which you can see in the foreground. So there are opportunities to learn about these projects firsthand, and also there are opportunities to work with the campus management system to see if they're working effectively. Okay, so there's some really great projects. We have some instrumentation in place, flush boxes and so forth that you can use to determine how effective the system is. So lots of great stuff right on the campus. We also have the Water Center at Penn, and the Water Center at Penn is a wonderful opportunity to work with faculty and outside groups on a whole series of projects that range from water policy to hydrology to water infrastructure. You can get involved with a myriad of projects, and I think Sally will put something in the chat room about that. But check them out. They have so many research projects going on right now. And they have funding for students to do these projects or to do your own project. If you have a water related project that you want to do, they have funding available to help you with that. They have seminars that they hold monthly, conferences, internships. They're just a fantastic resource for you, particularly if you're interested in water, of course. But there are opportunities to get involved with policy and so forth as well. Now, the next thing is just our faculty at Penn. And so we have two types of faculty in our program. One is our research faculty. Okay, and our research faculty focuses on more theoretical approaches to problems and looking at, you know, more holistically at various projects. And so those faculty focus on things like soils, climate change, mechanics of ice, sediment transport, and so forth. And then the other faculty that we have teaching in the program are our professional faculty. These folks work in consulting or the EPA or other places during the day and come into our classrooms at night to teach you what they're seeing in the field right now. So it's a great opportunity to learn more about all of these different things that are happening in the field. So they'll come into the classroom and say, "Hey, it's a geomechanics course, and by the way, we were drilling this tunnel today, and you wouldn't believe what happened, and this is why it happened." And they have lots of pictures, and they can show you everything. So it's a really nice combination of both theoretical and practical teaching in the classroom. All right, and many of our professional faculty hold professional geologist licenses, and some of them even hold both a professional geologist and a professional engineering license. So they have some really great experience and examples for you that you can learn about. Now, in terms of the curriculum for the program, it's a 12-course program. All right, and that's equivalent to 36 semester hours, depending on, you know, where you're coming from. But so it's essentially 12 full courses, and 7 are required courses. They expand your knowledge of the geosciences, make sure you have a good solid base. Then there's 2 professional skills courses, and then there are 3 electives. All right, so let's go through and look at these. And again, I haven't been mentioning the pictures on the side, but here's Dr. Doheny, one of our professors, overseeing some well bailing right out on the on 33rd Street, which is across the road from Hayden Hall. Okay, so 7 required courses include setting your foundation for a good geotechnical background, making sure that you have everything that you need to proceed. Now, some of these you might say, well, I had that in undergrad. They go into it in much more depth. Each of these courses is at grad level. And so, you know, you're going to start out with the basic stuff that you may have learned in undergrad, but then they're going to jump into the more advanced topics. And if you haven't had that before, those first few courses will get you up to speed, right? And you may have forgotten things if you haven't been in school for a while. So it's always good to get that additional perspective. So we have a requirement of geocomputations. This is a calculus refresher course. If you've had calculus recently or are very strong in calculus and you don't really need a refresher, you can also take a statistics class or a GIS class, a Geographic Information Systems mapping course, right? For your geocomputations requirement. Then there's an intro to hydrology, groundwater hydrology, geomechanics. You have the option of either taking geomechanics solids or geomechanics fluids, depending on your focus. If you're hydrology, you might want to take the fluids. If you're engineering geology, you might want to take the solids, okay? Geophysics is a required course. Geochemistry, you can choose from rock, water, or soil geochemistry. We have 3 courses to choose from. Engineering geology, there's a soil mechanics, rock mechanics class, and there's now a techniques class that we're offering next year. So, so that will be practical applications in the field for engineering geology, which should be a lot of fun. This is a picture of Professor Mitch Cron on his Geologic Field Methods course, which is something that I'll talk about in a few minutes. So check that out. Now, the 2 professional courses that you will take include project management, which we have from our external advisory board, professionals in the field who came in and talked to us about the program and what they would like to see. And they overwhelmingly said they would like to see project management in the curriculum, because they said that's something that people say they know how to do. And there are actually people that are in the positions that they call project management, but what they're finding is that people are not great project managers. And so having a formal course in it is helpful. So we have a formal course in project management. And then project design. And project design is a course designed to help you pick a topic for your research and develop methodologies and a plan to go forward, and then also to pick your advisors. So if you're new to the program, you were just admitted, for example, you would take this course in your 2nd semester. Okay. And in that 2nd semester, you would, so you get the 1st semester to get used to the program, meet all the faculty, hear about all the things that are going on in terms of research and opportunities and so forth. And then in your 2nd semester, you settle into a topic. You find the topic that you want, and we can help guide you to the right topic. And then you write your proposal for what you're going to do. That's the design part, right? And at the end of the semester of that course, you will choose your advisors for the program. So you don't actually come in asking for advisors. You don't have to, you know, before you start the program, have someone in place with a project in place. We actually want you to come in, meet everybody, and learn about what's happening, and then choose what you're going to do in your 2nd semester. So that's a little bit different than some of the research masters out there, where they really want you to come in have already picked an advisor and already picked a topic, right? That's not what we do here. We really want you to see everything. And we're going to give you lots of advising, helping you, directing you to a project that would be best for you and your goals, okay, your professional goals. All right, and now the 3 electives. And so this is the last part of the program. This is the electives are taken within one of your concentration areas. So whether you chose environmental geology, hydrogeology, or engineering geology, you would take 3 courses in that area. All right. Alternatively, you can choose an individualized concentration, which is outside of these 3. And this is something that you can do with a faculty advisor. So if you come in and you say, this is not quite what I want. What I really want to do is this. You can sit down with your academic advisor. This is a person that's assigned to you when you first come into the program, and they will help you develop a program that's perfect for you. All right. Now, these are some courses that you can choose from for the environmental geology concentration. And you'll see with the concentrations, there is some overlap here in the courses. But these are some of the courses that you can choose from. And again, it depends on what your goals are, right? So you're going to say, you're going to come in, you're going to talk to your academic advisor in the first semester, and they're going to say, hey, what's your goal? What kind of job are you looking for? Are you thinking PhD down the road? What are you looking for? What do you want out of the program? And then what's your background? What kind of undergraduate program did you have? What courses have you taken? And then, so going from that starting point of what you already have, what's your experience in terms of work, etc., we're going to get you to your goal, right? And that means picking courses that will help you, technically get up there. And then also, again, if you haven't had a lot of experience in the field, we'll be looking to help you find internships or research positions and so forth to help you get that experience that you need to get that job or that goal that you want. All right, so it's a two-pronged approach, and these academic advisors that you're assigned when you first start the program are going to guide you through that process. All right. So engineering geology, here are the courses for engineering geology, similar in the sense like soil science and earth systems and earth hazards, which is similar to the other concentration, but also engineering geology. 680, Geology 680 is actually a structural geology course for professional geologists. So what do you need to know as a professional geologist in terms of structural geology? So if you've had structure before, you don't necessarily have to take this, but it's a really great applied course that would be useful for you. And then hydrogeology, here are the courses for that concentration, which includes some modeling courses, geochemical modeling, and fate and transport of pollutants, which is also using ModFlow, which is a pretty common one used in consulting. All right. Now, the last piece of this is the project design requirement. So you have the project design course, which sets you up where you have a proposal, it gets approved by the faculty. You've got academic advisors now to help you, so your committee to help you move forward. And then you have typically a year if you're going full-time, and maybe 2 or even 3 years if you're going part-time in the program to work on this project. All right. And so these are applied projects. We really want you to be able to show off your abilities to a potential employer. So we want you to do a project that's going to allow you to do that. So we want to focus on your career goals. So you tell us what you want to do, and then we try to set you up with maybe a current employer or a potential employer to do a project for them. So it's an applied project as opposed to more of a theoretical project that you might do in a lab. Okay. Right. Oh, by the way, if you have any questions, feel free to ask or put in the chat room. I'm happy to just stop and answer any questions as we go along. All right. Now, the project design is a technical paper, and it's based on students' concentrations, and then again, their goals, their job goals, and so forth. So past projects include some things like geophysical investigation of a Pennsylvania Route 33 sinkhole project. That particular student, that was part of his job, was working on the site, and they were really having a hard time figuring out where this sinkhole was and how big it was. And so he was able to bring in some GPR, ground penetrating radar, and figure that all out. So that was pretty cool. And then characterization of a previously unmapped subsurface fault zone in central New Jersey. Again, came out of a work-related project where they realized there was a fault, but they couldn't figure out where it was, and they didn't have the money within the, like, from their clients to pay for a study to figure out how far the fault went, how deep it went, and so forth. And so this student did it as part of his capstone, and it helped his company out. And then the landslide occurrences in Italy, this was a student who was very interested in working on landslides, and he was able to get some data from this landslide and use that for a project, which he then used to show off his skills to get a job. So pretty neat. All right, now, besides the curriculum, which we just talked about, we also have professional development because it's a professional program, and most of our students are going on to work or are already working and just want to get more skills in a higher degree so they can move up in their company. So we have some professional development pieces to the program as well. So this includes our first year retreat, which we have at the beginning of the semester in August. And this is where you meet your advisors, your academic advisors, but we also have opportunities to polish your networking skills. We practice some networking skill development. You hear from current students about their experiences in the program, and also occasionally we have an alumni come in and talk about what they're doing now. And then we introduce you to all the Penn resources that are available to you, which are pretty extensive. So that's a big one. Normally we would have it off campus, so that we can all just sort of focus on that and not worry about the campus and all that, and just have a fun time learning and meeting everybody. Then in October, we have a second retreat, again, usually the same place, off campus, to get everyone away from campus and to just sort of, chill a little bit. Lots of food and everything is a lot of fun. And for that retreat, we focus on research opportunities. We have people coming in talking about what's available out there, because next semester you're going to have to start picking your topic. Finding the perfect job and internship, that's a whole session on that. How to negotiate salaries if you're looking at a job down the road. The second retreat, the first retreat is just for incoming students. The second retreat is for everyone, right? Everyone in the program. And so that's an opportunity for students who are about to graduate to start thinking about salaries and jobs, but you may also get a job while you're in the program, and this is a great skill to have. And then we have an alumni meet and greet at the end. So really great opportunity to meet people, the second year students, get some more information about the program, because we can only give you so much in that first retreat before you're like, I can't take any more information, there's too much. So we have the second event for that. In addition, we have an alumni panel every year. Right now, because we're in COVID and we're not on campus, we've actually been doing these virtually. So we do have some recorded ones that you can see. So this alumni panel, you can hear from program alumni about their current positions, courses that help them in the job market, what was their favorite instructor. You can ask them anything you want, right? So we have two students that are part of our graduate advisory board who ask the questions of the panel, and then at the end they open it up to the audience and you can ask them anything they want. So that's one of the common questions, is who was your favorite instructor, or your favorite course, or which course helped you the most in your job, that kind of thing. So lots of fun. We also have certification opportunities. So we have the OSHA 40-hour HAZWOPER, which is Hazardous Waste Operations certification. If you don't already have this, and maybe you don't know what it is, this is super helpful if you are looking to work in environmental consulting, or say with the EPA, US government. It is a training, it's a 40-hour training that teaches you what you need to know to go on to hazardous waste sites, okay? What we have found and what our alumni have told us is that students who are applying for internships or jobs that have this certification on their resume are more likely to get an interview and get the position than someone who does not. All right, so if all things are equal and you have the same experience, the same education, so forth, you're more likely to get the interview, because that training is required by most companies in order for you to work. So if you don't get it while you're here with us, then if they hire you, they're going to send you off for the first week to do this training. So they're missing out. They have to pay for the training, and they have to pay you to do the training, and they don't even get to start with you in the job for another week. So if you already have that training, they don't have to pay for it. You're ready to go on day one to work. You can go out in the field immediately. For internships, what we have found that students who have it have been able to go out in the field with the project managers and so forth, whereas students who don't have it can only be in the office. They can't go out in the field. So you get a richer experience in your internship if you're able to go out in the field. All right. So that's just something that we offer to all of our students. It's 32 hours online, and then we do an 8-hour dress out. You can see here the students all in their, respirators and all that, trying them on. So that's part of the certification. If you are thinking about getting a professional geologist license in the US, one of the things that you have to do is take a fundamentals of geology exam. All right, that's the first step. So you take the fundamentals of geology exam, you pass that, then you work under a professional geologist for 5 years, And then you can take a final test, a professional geologist test. And when you pass that, then you become a professional geologist. All right. So that PG, professional geologist, is it's a great credential to have, and it means that you can bill out like lawyers at a higher rate, right? So in many states, so not all states in the United States require a PG, and even if you are in a state that requires it, doesn't mean that you have to have it, but it does allow you to bill out at a higher rate, and some companies prefer that, so they'd like you to have your PG. In order to take that first fundamentals of geology exam, depending on what state you're in, you may be required to show, well, you have to show your transcripts to show that you've had some geology. So if you're coming in from a non-geology background, this program can help you get certified essentially to take the test. All right, so we've had students come in from other backgrounds, maybe engineering or math, and they have been able to, through taking courses in the program, sit for the exam, right? So that's great. If you're coming in with a geology background and you're ready to take the test, but you might not have had these two courses, so structural geology and a geology field course. In many states, those states require that you have those two courses on your transcript before you can take the test, all right? Not every state. So some states are like, yeah, just come on in and take the test, but some of them require. So Pennsylvania, for example, requires these two courses. If you did not take those two courses as an undergraduate, you can take them with us. They have been approved by the state. And once you have completed them, you can submit your transcript, and then they will approve you to take the test. Step one. Step two, meaning you have to go work under a professional geologist for 4 years. So I said 5, right? 5 is required, but the degree itself, once you get the master's degree, it takes 1 year off the 5-year requirement. So now you only have to do 4 years. You've taken the professional, the fundamentals of geology exam. You got 1 year knocked off so you're that much closer to getting your license. All right, so we help you with that. We also have study groups. The students are running study groups for the fundamentals of geology exam, and you can participate in those. All right, other field geology courses, environmental geophysics, intro to hydrology, field study of soils, field methods in biogeochemistry, and wetlands all have a field component to them where you can go out and learn about these techniques in the field. So we have, instrumentation and so forth that you can learn to use, and like geophysics and so forth. So all great field courses to take. I mentioned early on about careers, and these are some of the places that our alumni are working right now. So we just went on LinkedIn and said, hey, where are our guys now? Here are some of the folks or some of the places that they work. So certainly we have a number of students at the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, at different offices around the country, but other consulting companies like Langen Engineering, Arcadis, and so forth. We have students that work for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. And we actually have students who have gone back to their countries. We have a couple of students in Malaysia who are working for their government organizations now. I've got here Mineral and Geosciences Malaysia, and they actually were working there. The government sent them over here to get their degree. Now they're back working for them again. So fantastic opportunities, whether you're in the U.S. or abroad, to get into some really great organizations. I'll just mention here that this group of students is sitting at the All Ivy Environmental Career Fair. This is a career fair that is held every year at Columbia University, where recruiters come to look for students to do, various jobs and so forth. The interesting thing is that they have a lot of environmental consulting positions available. So RU in particular has hired a number of our students while they were at this conference. So they interviewed at the conference or at this career fair and were offered positions after the career fair. So this is a really neat opportunity to get positions, both jobs and also internships. Okay, so this year it was online because of COVID, and students were able to attend over the course of 3 days various events. So that was lots of fun. All right. If the program itself is not enough and you need more, we also have a couple of dual degrees. One of them is with the Master of Law at the Penn Law School. So you can get a Master of Science in Applied Geosciences and a Master of Law. So this is not going to get you're not going to become a lawyer, right? But you can get a Master of Law, which allows you to understand more fully all of the different laws and regulations that environmental consultants really have to understand. And so sometimes it goes into litigation. You might have to be an expert witness. And these are the sorts of things that you can learn from that dual degree. We also have an international environmental management triple degree, what we call the multi-masters program, with Mien Pre-Tech and Tsinghua University. So in that program, you get a Master of Science in Applied Geosciences from Penn, a postmaster's degree in environmental management from Mien Pre-Tech in Paris, and a Master of Science in Environmental Engineering from Tsinghua University in Beijing. Okay, so that's a very interesting program. If you're interested in that, the way it works is that you apply to Penn, you get into Penn, you take 8 courses in our program in the MSAG, and then you apply to this program. And then once you're in that program, you then go to Paris, and you're 4 months in Paris, 3 months in Beijing, and then you do a 6-month internship, which becomes your project design, right? And when you're all done, then you can have, you'll have the degree, 3 degrees. So pretty exciting. Now, we also have certificate opportunities with the Master of Applied Geosciences, and these include in our School of Design, the Geographic Information Systems or GIS certificate, which is a fantastic opportunity to really buff up your skills. There's a Resilience and Adaptation certificate, and there's an Energy Policy certificate. So these may be of interest to you, and we can help you with those. Once you're in the program with us, we'll let you know more about this, and you can, apply to these certificates once you're in the program. And also the law school has a law certificate. So if you're not interested in getting a whole Master of Law, you can get a law certificate instead. All right. Now, we do have some student groups that you should know about. First of all, is our Graduate Advisory Board. This is our student government for the programs. And they are part of, we have 2 master's programs in Earth and Environmental Science. There's the Master of Science in Applied Geosciences, which you're hearing about now, and we have the Master of Environmental Studies. And the 2 programs together do a lot of interesting, fun activities. And the Graduate Advisory Board sort of oversees all those activities. So these are some of the things they've done in the past. Certainly they host the Alumni Career Panel, which you heard about already. We have coffee hours, which you can see here. We have some great donuts and coffee. But they also do some fun activities like ice skating, apple picking, rock climbing, whatever the group that semester is interested in doing, they do it. There's been haunted houses, all kinds of fun things. So they are in charge of that. We also have a student chapter of the Association of Environmental and Engineering Geologists, and you can join that group and attend regional student nights, present posters at these events, and also the study group for the Fundamentals of Geology exam is through this group. So this group sort of is in charge of all of that. So that's a great group to be involved with. And there's also the student chapter of the American Waterworks Association, and again, student nights, professional networking, conferences that you can attend. So there's a lot of great opportunities through that group. So these are a few groups that are on campus. We also have the WHO Journal of Gender and Water, and this is actually now housed within the Water Center at Penn. The Water Center at Penn is actually part of the Department of Earth and Environmental Science, which is where we are. And they are in charge of this Water Journal of Gender and Water. And you can become an editor, a student editor for this journal. Okay, so they have opportunities for blogging. They have opportunities for you to be an editor. We have, people from all over the world submit articles, and a student and a faculty member each review each article that's submitted and make a decision on whether it should be included in the next issue. So, and there's opportunities to help with layouts for each version of the journal. So there's opportunities to just see what's behind the scenes in publishing if you're interested in that. So really neat opportunity there. There's also lots of extracurricular activities that you can get involved with. Some of the things that our MSAG students have done in the past include intractable problems in West Virginia. These are big problems that the EPA in Region 3, West Virginia is part of Region 3, which is where we are in Philadelphia. And there are people in West Virginia who do not have running water. They do not have proper sanitation. They do not have clean water. If they do have running water, it's not disinfected and so forth. And so there are opportunities to help with these problems in West Virginia. So that's pretty neat. We have the EPA Rainworks Challenge, which is an opportunity to come up with a green infrastructure solution to a flooding problem on your campus. And we have our students are working with students in the School of Design who are planners on these. And this is like an annual competition that you can get involved with. And then there was the Patagonia Case Competition. So you may have heard of Patagonia, the company. They run a case competition every year. And our group from a year ago actually got third place in the competition. They got to go to California and present just before COVID. And this was made up of students in engineering, design, and arts and sciences. So one of our MSAG students, Abdel here, was one in the group. So there was some a problem that Patagonia created. They said, hey, this is an issue that we're facing in our company. What's the solution? And then the group has to figure out what the solution is and then present it to Patagonia. So pretty cool stuff. And there's plenty more where that came from. Lots of organizations on campus that you can get involved with. There's the Risk Management Center at the Wharton School of Business that has risk issues, which are related to resilience and adaptation, flooding, all kinds of things, right? All right. So speaking of opportunities, some of the opportunities that you can get involved with, there's opportunities for student research both on the campus for sure, but you can also get involved with off-campus groups. So some of those include our Takuni Frankfurt Watershed Partnership, which is a watershed nonprofit that works on issues with stream bank restoration, water management, and so forth. There's the Northern Research Station of the U.S. Forest Service, and they have opportunities to look at watersheds as a whole in the city, urban forestry, and some other things. And then the Stroudwater Research Center, which is also looking at water issues, everything from fish to stream restoration, right? So riparian restoration and so forth. So lots of organizations in the city or just outside the city that you can do research with and work with on projects that are related to the geosciences. Publishing, we always encourage students to publish. And again, if you're thinking maybe PhD down the road, either immediately after the master's or later on, publishing is good. And we encourage students to do independent study projects that they can publish. Your project design certainly would be a publishable opportunity. And then extra projects that you might do on the side, like in the labs or with professors and so forth. And then collaboration with faculty at Penn. It doesn't necessarily have to be in our department. It can be in engineering or Wharton or design. There's lots and lots of opportunities out there. We encourage you to attend conferences, and there's excellent networking and professional development. It gives you ideas for your capstone project at the end, right? Your thesis project. Students participate in World Water Week in Stockholm. They participate in the Geological Society of America conference. And there's another one called World Water Forum, which is not on the list. It is on the list, sorry, which is in Senegal. It was supposed to happen this last spring. They postponed it because of COVID, so they're hoping to run it next spring. So we'll run a course associated with that conference where you would actually attend the conference and get involved with a research project that's being presented at the conference. So more on that over the summer. We're hoping that things will be back to normal and students will be able to go to this conference in Senegal then. And of course, we've got the Geological Society of America, which you may have heard of, and of course, the Association of Environmental and Engineering Geologists, which is a really great professional organization, particularly if you're interested in consulting. This is a great organization to be involved with and to participate in their conferences. In terms of internships, all students should try to do this for the experience. If you're not already working, this is you can get involved with, there's internship opportunities with local consulting firms here in Philly. The EPA often has internship opportunities. Some are paid and some are unpaid. There's the Urban Research Station of the U.S. Forest Service. They have internships on occasion. And then the Delaware River Basin Commission has opportunities as well. So there's lots of different places that we can point you to. Once you get here, we can say, hey, talk to this person or talk to that person. They may have something available, right? We also encourage you to attend special events. We have, of course, the All Ivy Environmental Career Fair, which I already mentioned. And then we hold a graduate research conference Yes, actually, good question. Megan asked, are there internships in Pittsburgh? And actually there are. The Water Center right now that I mentioned earlier has a big project just outside of Pittsburgh, and they have been bringing students in to work on that project. So absolutely, there are opportunities in Pittsburgh. Good question. We also have our graduate research conference, and that is where our students who are graduating present a poster of their research work. And we have a keynote speaker and the whole bit. And actually, the head of the Water Center actually gave our keynote address year before last, and that's him up there, Howard Newkrug. So just a great opportunity to show off your work, and for the new students who are just coming in to see what's possible, right? What kinds of projects people have been working on. All right, finally, you probably want to know a little bit about the program stats. Here are some numbers. We have about 45 active students this semester. 30 are part-time and 15 are full-time. So you can go part-time or full-time. You can switch back and forth. What we're finding right now is that a lot of our students are starting full-time if they don't already have a job, and they're getting jobs after the first year, right? So they go and do an internship over the summer, and then they get offered a position in the fall. So a good number of our students who started full-time are now part-time because they got a job, right? And that's fantastic. We want folks to get jobs. So you can switch back and forth between part-time and full-time, totally fine. And as you know, as needed, we've had part-time students who are, they know that for their job, they're going to be in the field and it's going to be pretty far away and it's going to be hard for them to get into Philly. So they'll take a semester off, totally fine. We're very flexible in working with you because we know that a lot of our students are working professionals. And so we're very cognizant of that and work with you to manage your program and make sure that you can make progress without, overstressing the system for you, right? So that you're not, trying to get in from, West Virginia every night for class or something like that. So we will work with you on that. For international students, it's about 17% of the program are international students, and they come from, right now, these are the countries that our students are from. And if you're an international student, so coming from outside, not a US citizen, the MSAG is a STEM program. So a lot of students ask about that. So it's science, technology, engineering, and math. Internships, you can do curriculum practical training. That's allowed. So that means that you can get a paid internship. That's allowed. And you can also you can get paid work after graduation. So you can do OPT, optional practical training, and you have the extended time because it's a STEM program. So that's all available to you. And of course, we'll work with you throughout the program to make sure that these are available to you and make sure that you get the right paperwork in at the right time to do those things. All right, typical majors from our students. Students should have a science background to come into this program, typically like geology, environmental studies, earth science, environmental science, engineering, math, physics, something like that, or have a good experience in the geoscience field. So maybe you're working in consulting now, but you came from a different background. That's okay too. And we'll work with you to help you get those courses that you need in case you want to get a license later on, geology, professional geologist license. Employment rates in the program for the last 3 years, we have had 100% employment in the geoscience fields. In other words, everybody who's graduated has gotten a job in the geoscience field. So it's not just like, well, they got a job, but it was in banking. No, they got a job in geosciences, and we're pretty proud of that. And it's a challenge sometimes. It takes a lot of work, but we really work hard to make sure that you guys get the positions that you're looking for. And again, many students are finding employment before they graduate. They're getting offered positions after their first year because they've got enough experience. They've got enough, technical experience at that point to get into the job market. All right, so next steps. Well, the application deadline for the fall is April 1st. So you do have some time if you want to start in the fall. Our program starts, the Penn semester starts in late August. And so that deadline is April 1st. So you have some time. If we also have a spring intake, so if you wanted to start in the spring of next year, that deadline is November 1st. So you have a lot of time for that. All right. Application requirements, there's an LPS application online, and there's 3 essays. We want to know, how did you become interested in geosciences? What would you like to do while you're in the program? What's your concentration that you're thinking about, and why? And then the final one is, what do you want to do with the degree, right? Where do you want to go next? Do you want to go in for a job? Do you want to go up for a PhD? What is your plan, right? What kind of job would you like? That's the 3rd essay. We also need transcripts from all colleges and universities attended. If you're an international student, you'll have to have those evaluated by an outside organization like WES or CertFile, something like that. And there's some information on the application about how to go about doing that. You'll need a resume and 2 letters of recommendation. The recommendations can be from your college professors, or they can be from, internship supervisors or job supervisors, colleagues, that kind of thing, depending on how long you've been out of school. And there is a TOEFL requirement if your first language is not English. Okay, you can also do IELTS if you'd rather, but we do need to have some sort of test of English proficiency if your first language is not English. There is no GRE requirement. All right, so if you're worried about that, don't worry, you do not have to do a GRE. This is it. These are, I think there's an application fee as well. Yeah, I didn't mention that. So funding your education, and we do want to be, to let you know that there are no like scholarships or funding of that type, or financial aid per se, available to our program. You can get, if you're a U.S. citizen, you can get subsidized student loans by filling out the FAFSA form. Company tuition benefits are a very common way that our students pay. So they're working for a company, and that company has tuition benefits, and the company will pay for 1 course a semester or something like that. External scholarships, some of our students get scholarships from outside of Penn, and that pays for it. TA positions, we do have some positions, teaching assistant positions, semester to semester. We can't guarantee those, and they do not cover tuition. It's typically it's about $4,000 a semester, $1,000 a month, and you would be a teaching assistant for one of the professors in one of the big survey courses that we offer at Penn for the undergraduates, and then you do that. So that's something that you apply for once you get admitted to the program. So you're admitted, you accept your offer, and then we send you an application to be a TA. We also fund things like technical paper presentations. So if you go and give a talk or a poster, we can help you with funding to get to that conference, to pay for the travel to it. And again, we have travel subvention awards. So maybe if you're going to a conference, we can help you out with that. Or if you need to get to a site for your research, we can help you with that. And there are research materials funding. So it's like, say if you have some lab work, and you need to pay for the materials in the lab, we can help you with that. So one of the questions is about, are international students eligible for student loans in your country? Unfortunately, so in the U.S., it's the loans are available through the U.S. government or through a local bank, right? So you can get a bank loan, or you can get a subsidized loan from the U.S. government. So I think for international students, you'd have to apply through a bank in your country, or through your government loan service, or student loan service if they have one. Okay, so hopefully that helps answer that question. If you're into social media, we have accounts on Twitter and Facebook. There are 2 Twitter accounts. One is specific to our 2 master's program, and the other's for our department. So you can check those out. And of course, we have a Facebook page, which is for the whole department. So undergrad all the way up to PhD, and everybody in between is on there. Okay. All right, any other questions? And it looks like I can't actually post a document in this chat room like I normally do. So what I'll do is I'll put this PowerPoint in that box. So if you click on that box link later today, I'll have this as a PDF in there for you, so you can download it if you'd like, or review it. And we'll also put, I believe, this recording. We'll try to put this recording in there. Sounds like your sound's working now, Sally.
Is it?
Yep.
Hey, I've had some huge technical difficulties, but I'm here. So yes, Penn Box is going to have all kinds of information, including student services, international student services, the library, funding, you name it, we have it. And it also talks about classes in there, so you get an idea of some of the classes that we're running, and you get to see the professors talking about them. It's a wealth of information and certainly worth looking at.
And please know that we are available if you have additional questions later on, things that you forgot to ask, or something that comes up after you go through the box. Please do reach out. I could give you the generic. Yeah, there you go. Cardi at SAS, and we can answer your questions or set up a one-on-one meeting if you'd like to talk about your particular situation. Totally fine. Happy to talk.